So, what does it really take to succeed, especially when it feels like the odds are stacked against you? Today, we're going to break down a blueprint for success from someone who knows a little something about that, former President Barack Obama. And look, this isn't just some political speech, it's a really personal guide for students. And it all starts with this moment of just surprising honesty. Right off the bat, he doesn't start with policy or politics. He starts with something deeply personal. This one sentence, it just shatters the barrier between a president and a student. It basically says, hey, I get it. I understand struggle because I've lived it. This isn't just an intro. It's how he connects, and it sets the stage for everything that follows. And that's really our first big idea here. Obama builds his entire message on this foundation of struggle. It's all about creating common ground. He's not talking down to anyone from a pedestal. He's meeting students right where they are by sharing exactly where he came from. And the details he gives are what make it so real. You know, he talks about his single mom sometimes struggling to make ends meet. He shares this pretty incredible story about her waking him up at 4:30 in the morning. 4:30 for extra lessons before she had to go to work. He even admits to feeling lonely, getting into trouble. It's a powerful reminder that nobody's path is a straight line. And this is where he does something really clever. He uses his own story as a bridge to theirs. He acknowledges that, look, even with his own struggles, a lot of kids out there might have it even tougher. This is pure empathy. It's his way of saying, I see you. I understand the challenges you're facing. And he gets super specific, right? He calls out these heavy burdens. A parent losing a job, not feeling safe in your own neighborhood, friends pushing you to do the wrong thing. By putting these struggles into words, he's validating what so many young people are going through. The message is clear. Your circumstances are real, but they are not an excuse to give up. Okay, so if that's the reality of the struggle, what's the solution? Well, this brings us to the absolute core of his message, the incredible power of your education. And he frames it as something that isn't just for you, it's for all of us. He basically says that school is this kind of laboratory for self-discovery. You might have no idea there's a great writer inside you until you have to wrestle with that English paper. You might not realize you're a potential inventor until you dive into that science project. School isn't just about memorizing facts. It's the place where you actually unlock your potential. And here's how it all connects. You can literally see the chain reaction. It all starts in the classroom, right? Learning those basic skills and knowledge. That foundation is what lets you build a career, any career you can dream of. And those careers are what ultimately give you the power to help solve the biggest problems our country is facing. And just look at the scale of these problems. We're not talking about small things here. We are talking about curing diseases like cancer and AIDS, developing brand new energy technologies, fighting poverty. This is the why. This is why that boring math homework matters, why that history class you're dreading actually matters. It's training for the challenges that are going to define your entire generation. And this is the line that lands like a ton of bricks. It raises the stakes as high as they can possibly go. Suddenly, it's not just about your personal success anymore. It's about your responsibility as a citizen. It's a powerful, direct, and unforgettable way to reframe education as an act of patriotism. All right, so the stakes are high, the mission is crystal clear. But how? How do you actually do it? Well, this next part is the practical, boots-on-the-ground guide, and it starts by totally demolishing a popular myth about what success is supposed to look like. So, on one side, you have the myth that we're all sold on TV, right? Instant fame, success without any of the sweat, the idea that being a rapper or a reality TV star is the only way to make it. But Obama just slams that up against the hard reality on the other side. Success is messy, it is difficult, you're not going to love every class, and you will absolutely not succeed at everything the first time you try. And to prove this point, he brings out some incredible examples. I mean, take J.K. Rowling. The woman who created one of the most successful book series in all of history was rejected by 12 different publishers before someone finally said yes. And it's not just authors. Think about Michael Jordan, maybe the greatest basketball player of all time. He didn't even make his high school varsity team as a sophomore. He was cut. He faced failure right at the very beginning of his journey. And here's the punchline, coming straight from the man himself. He said that failure wasn't something that got in the way of his success, it was the reason for it. Every single time he failed, it was a lesson that pushed him to get better. This is the big mental flip he's asking students to make. He's urging them to see failure not as a final judgment, not as a label that says, you're a troublemaker or you're not smart. No. Instead, It's just data. It's a lesson. It just shows you what you need to do differently next time. It's a tool for learning, that's all. So what does that look like in real life? Well, it means accepting that you get good at things through practice, not by magic. It means you might have to do that math problem a few times to get it right, or write a couple of drafts of a paper. And, this one's crucial, it's knowing when to raise your hand and just ask for help. This is such an important message, especially in a world that often makes you feel like you have to pretend you have all the answers. Obama completely reframes asking for help as an act of courage. It shows you're strong enough to admit you don't know something, which, let's be honest, is always the first step to actually learning it. And all of this builds to the final, soaring conclusion of his message. After he's laid out the struggles, the stakes, and the strategies, he zooms all the way out and places every student's personal journey right in the middle of the grand sweep of history. He draws this incredible line connecting the students of today with generations of students who went on to literally change the world, founding a nation, winning a world war, building the internet. I mean, he creates this direct lineage of contribution, and then he points right at the audience and says, "Now, it's your turn." And that's really what it all comes down to. The entire speech builds to this one single powerful question. It's not just about getting good grades or landing a good job. It's about figuring out what problem you are going to solve, what discovery you are going to make, and what kind of legacy you're going to leave for the next